We've been talking about precursors to success, some of the characteristics of companies that go on to become large and important. And the idea of talking about these precursors, of these characteristics, is there things you can work on without having to raise a ton of money. There are things you can work on before it's time to go hire tons of people. There are sort of underlying characteristics of your business and things to think about, frankly, before you scale. And so the next precursor I want to talk about is retention. People will frequently ask you this question, especially in the investing community. We're always interested in cohort retention. How do your customers retain? How do they operate over time? How do they grow over time or shrink? And I think I cannot overstate how important retention is to, frankly, just making it easier to build a valuable business. Because if you think about it, that is the ground. Retention, basically, your existing customers are the foundation that you're building on, right? You stand on their shoulders, you acquire some more customers, you build that into your structure, and then you climb up and stand on that, and then you build the next level. And to the extent that structure is shaky, right? To the extent your customers are leaving rapidly, to the extent their dollar value shrinks over time, and does so rapidly, people call it a leaky bucket, you can call it, quicksand, whatever you want to call it, but basically you're not standing on something solid. All the work you do goes away, and you just do new work, and you're kind of, tread water, you stay in the same place. And so one of the characteristics of companies that tend to do well, however you want to think about it, is what we would call negative dollar churn. Basically what it means is that a customer that's paying you $1 today is going to be paying you $2 in a year. So think about that. If that was really the case of your business, that every customer you're going to pay you $1 today is going to pay you $2 in a year, then if you do nothing, if you sit there, you will double by next year because your customers are going to do it for you. And that actually is a very common thread among a lot of these businesses that you see that are doing incredibly well. They have that characteristic where their customers are growing, and their dollar retention is, they have negative churn, right? So by next year, they're going to be double or triple after doing nothing. And in my case with I'm, that's how it was, right? Our dollar retention was we had negative churn, and so we didn't have to do anything to grow, and everything we did just accelerated that process. And that's something you can think about and learn about your business even when it's small. Is your dollar churn negative? Are your customers growing in and of themselves? And if they're not, is there anything you can do to make that possible? Not every business has this characteristic. Some of them have to grow despite aggressive churn, and that may be the case. But to the extent you are in a business where that should not or does not have to be the case, that's something to fix right now. Because getting that right today, while it's small, has such important leverage for the business over time, and will really propel the company in a way we're almost cheating in terms of growing. It just propels you to a higher level, and every single customer you get becomes 2x, 3x, 4x more valuable over time because of those issues and those features you've built in from day one.